I want to make a relationship, or I want to make a stronger relationship, want to serve somebody, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to show what I get the job done. Because guess what? How I show up to here is going to show how I show up to business as well.
And welcome back to Podcast on Wheels. Today, we have a very special treat for you. All the way from Las Vegas, we have Johnny Richardson, also known as the Shark, high energy entrepreneur, real estate leader based in Las Vegas. And his brand has been built on aggressive deal making, strategic networking, and an unshakable mindset. Johnny, welcome to the studio for your second appearance, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. You know what they say, second time's always better. So I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We'll have to get into that comedy stuff a little later, brother. I hear you right there off the bat.
I'll drop a little bit on you. Yeah,
All
drop
right,
a little
well,
bit, definitely.
You guys stay tuned because that end of show comedy stuff, I mean, people pay a big bucks to hear this guy on stage right now, Johnny. So
Yes,
you and I are friends. We got to travel to Vegas not too long ago, talk a little bit. And, I started watching your stuff again and seeing some more detail, because when you get to see somebody in action like that, see the place that you're representing, see how when you pull up to the front gate, the security's like, oh, you're meeting Johnny, your life's about to change for the better. Everything about your brand is there, bro. And your reputation as the Shark. Tell us about that. And tell us about that reputation, that brand.
absolutely. So I'll tell you, I've always had a huge love for sharks, period, across the board. And whether I was selling cars back in Jersey, timeshare, I've always been just work ethic is everything. You work hard, it will deliver. Obviously, along the way, through your career path, you're going to be developing your skill set and sharpening your saw at the end of the day. As in 2017, when I got into real estate, we're like, we got to do something to put you on the map. This lender I worked with, and it was a goof off. And we were at a house, had a videographer, and we're just like spitting around. We call a bunch of girls in bikinis and advertise low rates, and our tops are dropping, whatever, getting squirrely. And I was like, you know what? I was like, can you put shark in the pool? And I was like, I'm gonna dive in. I had a suit, like I'm all suited and tied up and glasses. I said, I'm not changing. I'm not getting a swimsuit. I'm suited. I'm to the game. And I was like, this real estate agent will do anything to save your deal, including diving in with the sharks. And I dive in, do it, and I get out. And as I'm getting out, I say, contact Johnny Richardson, the number one real estate advisor in Las Vegas. Now I was wet behind the ears, literally. I was green in the business. I was making moves, but people really didn't know who I was exactly. And that got a lot of attention. So we all know marketing is a huge part of the key in any entrepreneurship. And people, one, they're like, who is this guy saying he's number one? And I've always believed, I don't care if you're 1,000 on the board. If you're waking up telling yourself I'm 1,000, you're going to stay at 1,000. If you're waking up saying I'm number one on that board, I don't care where you're at. That's where your mindset is. You've already visualized it. That is the mindset I always had. And I didn't care what people said. That's right, I'm number one. That's right, I'm number one. And I made sure people knew it, they heard it. And it's just like anything out there. Perception does a lot for you. So as I got in front of clients, as I got in front of investors, this one moment I walked into and showed a little condo for this investor. I'll never forget, he does this double take and he's like, you're that guy. And I'm just like, what do you mean that guy? The shark guy. You're the shark guy. And I was like, that is me. He was like, Google, God. And I was like, man, this stuff's working. The branding's working. I'm like, this is awesome. I love sharks, period. It kind of happened on that end. And we pressed the branding within a year, 2 years later. And then it went, I took on the name The Shark. And that's why I started noticing whether I was at an event in Vegas, I was in California, I was in Texas, and I'd walk into the event and they'd start saying, the Shark's here. It's crazy. Last night I went to a book release at the 8. It's over a cigar lounge in Resort World. And it was a big crowd. They had 3 events at one time. It was kind of weird the way they set it up. It was a great crowd. So the owner of Pawn Stars was there and all kinds of cool stuff happening. And I 3 different people I haven't met. They're like, "It's you," and I was like, "Me?" And they're like, "You're the shark." So I'm like, this stuff works. I mean, somebody, whoever's listening to this, doesn't mean they have to be the shark or anything else. You find something out there to identify yourself. Mine is relates a lot to a shark, even though I have a huge love for him. My work ethic, what I'm sticking to, what I'm going after. If you look up a great white shark, year one after birth, so what their accuracy rate is going to be is 73%. Then year number 2 is going to be 86%. Year number 3 is going to be 93%. And you base your business off of that, you're constantly growing. We all know if you're not growing, you're dying, and you're getting better and you're getting better. And this doesn't matter what the market is. It doesn't matter how cold the ocean is. It doesn't matter if there's a fish that are disappearing. You are a shark. You are going to make it happen. You're going to crush it. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, brother. And to jump in a pool suited and then have the mindset and forethought, I should say, to back it up. And that's kind of what you're alluding to right there. It's like, a lot of people can jump in a pool, but let me ask you this. All right. How many years ago did you jump in the pool?
That was 2018.
2025, somebody calls you the shark because of 7 years of consistent
Oh,
growth,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And that's what, sometimes people see this show or they reach out to me and they're like, "Oh man, that's great. And you got to meet the shark." And I'm like, "Yeah, but that's Johnny. He is the shark." But it's taken him 7, 8, 9, 20, 30 years of work ethic and honing in that. That wasn't the first time you thought about sharks. That
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. And here's the thing. I mean, we're all human beings out there. We all go through struggles and everything else. Obviously, social media, well, there's certain parts where you'll see vulnerability, and I'll open the curtains, so where people get messed up if they're in pursuit of something, they're the shark, they're the rhino, they're the whatever it is. But what the problem is the consistency. Like you said, that 7 years, they get beat up a bit. Their family member makes fun of them. That's stupid. That'll never work. And guess what? They're out. They check out. I mean, if you think nobody's tried to stand me up or say, "That's stupid. Who do you think you are?" Hell yeah. And guess what? I'm number one, sucker. Watch me. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a crap what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just sit back and watch the show.
Yeah.
That but unfortunately, people won't stay consistent enough with it, whether it's your work ethic, you have a new business plan outside of branding, if you're developing your skill set to be a great realtor and you want to dominate in your space in San Antonio, what are you doing to be consistent and never let off the gas? Will there be bumps in the road? Will something happen? Will there could be something dramatic as far as a divorce? Throughout my career, there has been several moments in my life that on a personal level, guess what? We still have to perform. We still have to get the job done. People are still depending on us. It doesn't stop. And as long as you can have that mindset to recover very quickly, then you'll be good. It's the ones that want to not recover in a fast pace, crying their Cheerios, sit around, listen to my story. I'm the victim. You should feel sorry for me. These are the stories that are going on in your head. You know what I mean? And just help. Do you think I have those voices that go on and I tell them to shut up, shut
Yeah.
up?
Yeah. Yeah. You got to. You got to.
Yeah.
And here's something that I'll tell you that, I go off script about every time I put a script together for one of these shows. So here we go. All right. So I'm talking to Brian Casella the other day out of Miami, and
Yeah.
we're talking, and and I'm like, why is it that BC, the shark, Brad, Nick, there's certain guys when I reach out, they schedule their show right away. They're on time for the show. They're professional. They're ready to go. How are these guys the most successful guys in their area? And Brian lives in Miami. You're in Vegas. This guy's in Nashville. This guy's over here. There's similarities that I see, right? Like, If you have appointments with somebody and you're trying to set up stuff, how important is showing up and that perception you talked about? You know, like all you guys have those things in common. So how many people have that coming in? Is that ingrained? How do you?
Well, I'll tell you, as far as number one, it's always being accountable. You want to hold yourself accountable. When you make a commitment, you stick to that commitment. Now, have I been perfect or whatever your version of perfection is? Of course not. But have I gotten better and better and better? Set. So, somebody like yourself, you reach out to me. I was at, I'm going to make the appointment. I'm going to get on, be on time. I value time because my time's very valuable. So I am not going to mess with somebody else's. Don't put that out in that universe because it will come back to you. You know what I mean? Go out there and do it. You'd be surprised when somebody's reaching out to you how much they're trying to help you and work at helping you and support you. That people are like, oh, I'm not going to make time. I'm not selling a house to him. Oh, he bought a house from Jimmy last week. Forget him. My mind doesn't go there. It goes in, I want to make an appointment. I want to make a relationship. I want to make a stronger relationship. I want to serve somebody. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be on time. I'm going to show what I get the job done. Because guess what? How I show up to here is going to show how I show up to business as well. So by me being here, being on time, and not even on time, being early, ready to go, shows if you have somebody buying a house, doing a big deal, a commercial deal in Vegas, or a realtor that wants to jump in our coaching program, you're going to say, Johnny is the guy. Now let's look at the opposite side. There's somebody who set up, they're 20 minutes late. They're like, oh, all right, let's get this over with or whatever. And you're like, are you excited to send that guy anything? You might get through the show, but it's like, yeah, I'm not. That's just like the old, as cliche as it is, the way you do one thing's the way you do everything. I'm definitely very conscious of it, and I watch, especially now as my career has developed. And because there's been times I've been sloppy and done things I probably shouldn't have. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing this in my personal life. This is going to transition to my business life. Do I want this in my business life? Do I want to show up this way? No. I need to keep this in line. I need to stay structured. If I want the bigger things, if I want the bigger house, if I want the whatever your dream life is, whether it's the vacations, freedom, whatever, you name it. Are you going to get it by doing these habits? By being late, by flaking out on appointments? Hell no, it's not going to happen. So you have to approach things different. So, like you mentioned, those gentlemen, they're all lasered in. They are serious about what they want to do for themselves. They're serious what they want to do for their families and their operations and people. So they're not going to screw around. So it just, I say it all the time. It's not that 80-20, the top 20% are the best. It's less than 10% anymore. Less than 10% of people are real. You can count on them. When they say they're going to show up and change your tire because you hit a curb at 3:30 in the morning, it's less than 10%. I don't care what Jimmy tells you being your best friend. Put them to the test and you'll see.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as we talked about the brand that you've built there and years of doing it, you just said something that jumped out at me. When somebody uses Johnny, aka the Shark, as the solution to a problem, that's a legitimate brand. Hey, I've
Yeah.
got this luxury that let's say there's this location. I've seen, and the reason I'm hesitating, brother, is I've seen some residential, I've seen some commercial recently. Am I correct?
Yes, correct. Both.
Okay, and
Yeah,
that
we're doing both. A
yeah,
huge bread and butter for us is residential, a lot of luxury. And we do the office here. I have 100 agents under roof. So we'll take $100,000 condo. We'll take an off market deal where most of I'm spending time with my clients is on the upper end, high rise luxury. And that market brings in commercial deals. So we're doing heavy commercial now
gotcha.
too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that. Now, Johnny, aka the Shark, is a solution for more opportunities, solutions. They're looking to you, and that's why I'm sitting here going, okay, now I have a hard time lying, brother. Whenever I start talking, if I go very and I'm like, no, I've seen some commercial, I've seen this, so let's open that up. So your business brought you business, right? And from what I'm learning, and the best way to gain business is to find it within the business you're already doing and the agents you have. How do you do that, Johnny? Help us out there. The
As
referral,
far as,
the contacts.
yeah,
Your
I mean, girls is the name of the game. So I mean, that's a huge part as far as the coaching program that we're launching off now is that's where agents drop the ball, number one, and training agents to be better at it to where, when you're working with a client, everybody does it the same. At the end of the deal, they're worried about the goldfish, hooking up Cox cable, getting their luggage dropped off, whatever. And oh, by the way, if you happen to know anybody, let me know. And that's it. I mean, like that delivery sucks, as far as that. So I'm training these agents the beginning of a transaction, the middle of a transaction, the end of the transaction. Boom, boom, boom. Especially milestones as you're solving problems, save money on inspection, save money on an appraisal. You're excited, aren't you, Brian? You absolutely love that. I need to ask you for a favor, and you're generating that referral. Now, we have over 200 agents spread out nationwide. So, as I'm training these agents, obviously, Vegas, I mean, we're a great hub right now as far as California, East Coast. We're getting hit half of our businesses out of state. So what do I want to do? I want to work within my network, people that know me already. They're working with me. They trust me. And some of them might be in my company and with Real Broker. Some of them I built relationships, which is fine. Work where you want to work, but let's do some business. And when I told them, I was like, who do you know? Who is your person? One of my previous coaches he's in San Antonio, Texas. And he goes, you know, you're my guy. I was like, you're not getting off that easy. Who do you know? Give me a name. Give
right,
me a name.
right, right.
And the thing is, if you do things coming out of a place to where you want to help, you want to serve, you want to make sure their friends are taken care of, they don't end up with Bobby Butters that's screwing up the deal. And people don't take it offensive. They're scared to ask because they feel they're offended. Oh, they're going to think I'm greedy. I want to do a bunch of business. Yes, you want to do a bunch of business and you want to solve a bunch of problems. It's how you approach it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's
Well,
just like squeaky wheel gets the grease. Just is what it is.
yeah. Well, again, like I said, I had a really pretty script here to ask you questions, and it turns into notes. And since I feel like we're friends, and something that I
Yeah.
want to speak of right here, I'm following along with your 75 hard that you're doing this year, and then I see got to start over, and I think, how did the shark? What happened to this guy? Like, why he didn't mismanage his time? He knows he had the second workout, so this is the integrity piece that I feel like is the basis for everything you do, man. It's like we see all the shark, we see all the pretty stuff, but the behind the scenes integrity, ethics, and you. Tell us about that, Johnny, and tell that story on why you had to start over.
Yeah, definitely. So it's like I believe, like I started when we started this podcast a little while ago. About being accountable. Even I'll be honest, my trainer, my actual trainer, she's a boss. I mean, she crushes it. And I was like, I'm gonna have to restart. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, well, you don't just like stop. It's not a game. You don't pause it. I said, I'm gonna have to. She's like, it's day like 47, 48. You're gonna start from ground zero. I said, yeah, what? Yeah, that's how it works. She's like, no, just don't tell anybody. I said, you're out of your mind.
Right.
And I was surprised to hear from her, to be honest. So what happened was, so it's everybody's getting sick, and it's that season. It's going all over, and I'm pressing it. I started watching my stories. I'll watch, and I'm like, man, in a rotation for 24 hours because I don't sleep much. I mean, sometimes I'm sleeping 3 hours. I'm not saying that's for everybody. I've been like this since I was like this big.
Right.
And it does catch up when I recharge. But I was pushing it. I was like, man, that rotation, I was actually at the gym 3 times just because of limited sleep. I was like, well, I was pressing it, and I started to get sick on a Sunday. And then I ordered an IV with NAD plus, and then I got a second round the next day. And normally that's boom, washes it out. I'm good. It didn't do a pinch. And I'm like, this is bad. So I'm in the office. I feel like borderline fainting. And I'm like, this is not normal. I'm like, I don't want to be drastic. and just sound like a whatever. I was like, I don't want to be one of those cases where somebody's sitting over the coffin. Only if he went to the doctor.
Right.
The shark, he's the most handsome person I've ever seen in a coffin.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I go to the doctor and they like vitals and everything. They're like, I rerun through my schedule, my workout program. The guy's jaws like dropping. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, what do you expect? He just goes, you are like destroying your body. You need to stop and recharge for a minute and then go right back to it, is what you need to do. This isn't going to work. And I noticed my workouts, they were starting to get weird where I come in and I mean, I would feel my body. I was at about 70% of what I normally am. Then about 50, I'm like, this is bad. What my trainer said is your body, you have pressed so hard, it is shutting down internally. It's protecting itself. It is shutting down, not allowing you to do what you normally do and saying, we don't care, dude. We are gonna shut the shop down. You're gonna do basically that's what happened. And I'm like, oh, this stuff this is not cool. And I restarted again and went after it again. Energy levels went down. I'm like, crap. I'm like, this is unbelievable. And I'm like chasing it as far as that goes. So it's this time I was like, okay, let me do some official recharging and listen to my body. I just like, you know how I am. I just like, no, nope, nobody's gonna tell me different. You're not gonna tell me I'm the boss here. And I definitely pressed it as far as that goes. Now, I'd say the difference with doing this round of 70 hard compared to others, what we're building here at the office right now is just I'm just different levels. So just like anything, you're going to be taking on some more stress. Your mental capacity is running at a higher capacity. So I think a lot of those contributed as far as that, and it contributes into your body. And I'm just like, crap. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to unpress that. So I'm going to continue going. So lay off the workouts a little bit, recharge as I'm getting this, continuing growing the business, and then go back after it. So,
Yeah.
and there's nothing, I mean, that the problem is most people are hiding. They're scared. They feel guilty. Every time I go through 75 hard and there's a group, you see the people, they're like embarrassed and they're like, it destroys their mental capacity, that failure portion. Guess what? Failure is a part of everything out there. If you don't fail, you would never win.
Right.
It wouldn't exist. Just embrace it. It is what it is. You know what I
Well,
mean? So
one
that
thing,
is what.
yeah, I'm gonna. What that reminded me of is when I coached baseball, and we would push a kid to dive for a ball. And I would say, if you never dive, if you never give everything you got, how do you know when to draw it back? And so
Oh
take
yeah.
this out of context. Somebody's going to hear the shark say, I was going as hard as I could. I got to this point and now I've got to dial it back. And they're going to say, see, I told you he was going to wear out. See, I told you he was going to burn out. No, that's who the shark is. He's going to dive for everything. He's going to make the play. And then he's going to have the people in place with the doctors and the IVs and people who don't know what NAD plus is and different things are probably not pushing themselves anyway, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, how awesome is that you got to experience that and your
Oh yeah.
integrity kept you honest. And now, when you start to feel 70, 65%, we need to charge because that growth in the ocean still taking place because the shark's not going to slow down.
Oh no, definitely
He's just going to
not.
adjust. He's
Yeah,
just going to
definitely.
adjust, right? I
Exactly.
mean, that's awesome. Now we have parameters. Now we know, you know, we're
Yeah,
going to bust
exactly.
through next time.
No.
So I love it, brother. I love it. And I hate to try to, sometimes I feel like I get selfish on this show. So sorry about that. I just get
Oh,
excited.
man, come on now. You're good. You're
Yeah.
super good.
Well, let's say, but the momentum that you have in Vegas right now, man, you're doing different things. But as far as the your office, paint us a picture when you come in. Like, people have never seen stuff like that. Tell us kind of what this looks like when you walk in.
Yeah, when I come in, it's the business as far as dialing in. You want to be like unfortunately, a lot of realtors out there, when they walk in, whatever your office space is, whether you're running an office, running a team, or single agent, you're kind of like, let's see what I can do. Kind of that's the mentality. Let's see. And that's what you get. You're going to get whatever falls in your lap at the end of the day. So, my operation when I walk in, as far as my staff goes, there is a meeting every day. There's going to be a pipeline meeting. What is an escrow? What are we dialing in? What boxes are being checked? It is go time. It's ready to rock and roll. We're not screwing around. It's not coffee hour and goof off and whatever. Don't get me wrong. I like to have fun and have a good time. I That's why I do comedy. So as far as but when I'm coming in the office, it's like go time. We're putting the fins out. And that once that goes through, I have what they call Shark Week. So I have a Shark Week. It's every week. Staying consistent is the name of the game. I have a list of executives that I'm going through every Monday, and these are people that are sending 6 to 8 deals, referring them over every single year, contact, touching, solving problems, being in front of. That's going to be 2 to 3 hours. Then when I come in Tuesday, guess what? It's all consistency. I am having my pipeline meeting. Then I'm contacting for 2 to 3 hours any clients that are listed, that are in escrow. How can I help you and what am I doing? I'm asking for referrals. I want to help their family. So I'll run through that, including Wednesdays to your hot people, your hot referrals, till Thursdays. Then you're contacting your people that bought from you, that love you, that will do anything. They are your 3:30 a.m. people. And to Fridays, those are spent on what I call as a shark list. These are big players. They own multiple commercial properties, multiple businesses that you are spending time. You are helping them solve problems in their business. Do you need an employee? What can I do? But I need something from you. What I need is I need a referral. And guess what? When they refer big and they don't mess around. And so I mean, if you stick to this, because where is all the money made? It's all in the follow up. What are salespeople bad at? They're bad at follow up. So what does your structure look like? My structure is touching base with the team, making sure all our deals are together, going through as far as what our calls and what our touches are that day, and we're off to the races after this. So today's Friday, for example, went through the meeting, went through calls with some big bosses, on another call with another big boss, Brian. After this, I'm at the art gallery at Planet Hollywood with another client that I'm doing something with. Why? Because people that spend money on art, they tend to spend money in other areas too.
There you go.
So it all
There
makes,
you go.
yeah,
There you go.
100%. So, I mean, it's go time. It definitely is. And I mean, we expanded this office, started out 2,500 square feet. We're like 53, expanded it to last year, 100 agents in. We'll run events here. There's as far as sometimes they're going to be C classes for credits, other times straight value given, other times provider, how agents can make more money. We want to make sure that between what we're doing on this side and the other side, because I have one of my partners run that side of the team, that we're doing stuff that's driving production, making money. Make your money first, make your new money first. And the reason why I say that, a lot of people come in, they're chasing old money, just the deal that's in contract. Where's the new money coming? If no new money's coming, you're not making money. We got issues.
You're
And
not
that's
going to be in
the
business
game.
long if you don't have the new money.
But yeah, it's super important.
Yeah, old money runs out sometimes. Um,
It does.
but is there, I heard this story in person that you were showing and you ran into a comedian from the past. I recognize the name, a guy named Paulie something. Pick up the story from there. Maybe tell us a little bit about, we got to have a little fun here before you have to go to the art show because I don't know how much comedy you can share there. So let's hit a
Yeah,
little bit
there
here.
you go. You're solid. So you're close. What happened? There was somebody that challenged me because it's speaking in front of agents from stage, and I spent time with Renee Rodriguez and
Yeah.
Tim Story. Actually, yeah, they're all great people.
Yeah.
And Tim had given me some advice at one point. He goes, study comedians. Well, not long after that, I'm living in one of the high rises, Turnberry Towers, and my neighbor ends up being Paulie Short, and I'm like, Get the hell out of here. This is so funny. I'm like, this is, and he's cool as, I mean, this guy, the way you see him on TV is his everyday life. He's a character. He is. Yo, he's just like that. No different at all. No different at all. You know, coming up, he's like, what's up, man? Just wheezing along. And
Yeah.
I'm, holy smoke, guy is funny, man. So I mean, he was a character. So I'm talking to him. I'm like, Paulie, I'm like, somebody has challenged me to do comedy. He has a comedy spot here on Main Street in Irwin Town Square. And he's like, you do real estate, Johnny. And I said, I know, I do real estate. He goes, yeah, you're a realtor. It's not going to happen. And I was like, dude, I'm telling you. So I started emailing his company here, Wise Guys, won't give me a shot. I hit him up. I'm like, Paulie, look, you asked for my help with real estate. I need your help right now. You need to pick up the phone, call your people. And he's like, you got to be kidding me. He's like, they're calling you the shark down there. I said, yeah, because and finish out my emails with the shark. And he's like, okay. Probably within a day, they sent me an email, show up, and everything else. And I had 30 friends show up for this. And I'm like, okay, all right, I got my bit. I end up writing my stuff. And here's the scary part. I'm getting ready to be called up on stage. My mind goes black. And I'm like, forgot all my material. I'm like literally walking up to the mic. And just as I'm grabbing the mic, it's like, boom, there it is.
Oh,
Whoa, thank
ooh,
goodness. And I went ahead and dropped it, and people went nuts. My buddy Jeremy, that's super critical. I mean, that guy, he drives me crazy
yeah.
sometimes. He was there. So when he'd say, he goes, dude, you are really good at this. He goes, I can't believe it. So my point is, I mean, as critical as he is, and he's like, dude, this is awesome. And that's been over 30 shows ago now as
Wow.
far as that part goes. Yeah, so it's been super fun. I mean, I am spread thin these days. I have to make my way down. There's two other spots in town that I have to go sit down with, and as long as everything goes well, it's pretty lined up. And
Yeah.
I'll have like open acts for big guys, host type positions. I think it's freaking phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
fun and
Yeah.
exciting. I love it.
I
Definitely
mean,
do.
I was watching, a guy in Nashville that has a radio show, Bobby Bones, the other day, and he does a lot of interviews, etc. But I didn't know he was hosting other shows, and kind of similar to you, that personality plays in different environments because that
Yeah.
energy you bring. I don't know if you got any impromptu jokes that you could throw out here
Yeah, I
for us.
do.
If you got one
So
for us,
it's funny because I'll use these a lot. What I started doing before then, I said, okay, how do I know where it's going to be good? So it'd be a large dinner party. I mean, we might be at a title event and there's 10 people, 15 people. I'm like, all right, let's test the crowd here.
there we go.
And I'll drop one. So this that I'll bring up. I'm like, I don't think I ever told you this, but there's a time I was going to lose my real estate license. Or like, really? I was like, yes. Celebrating. We had a blast. I mean, $100,000 commission. What we want to do? What do realtors do? We like to party. So we're out there, we're getting ripped, and we're out there and we're hitting the bars and we're leaving the bar. And we end up walking out as they're closing. There's a cemetery right next door. And we stop at cemetery. My buddy's got some drugs or some weed and stuff floating around, all sorts of stuff. We're divvying out right on top of the coffin. Boom, cherries come on. Cops are there. These guys run. Now they book me. I'm about to lose my license. You can't be out doing drugs and having a real estate license. My life's over. But my buddy Sam, his brother was a lawyer. So Sam got me out of jail that night. We end up going through the process, go and see the court. Sam walks out. It's like, Johnny, you're in luck. We have saved this for you. They got you off with trespassing and necrophilia. I was like, golden, saved my license. It's funny when I drop this. Yeah, it's always like that. Takes people a second. Wait, hold on a second. I'll never forget this lady from her Arizona title company. I mean, because I'm saying it with such a straight face, they're like, "This
Right.
is real," and
Right.
she's like, "Johnny, do you understand that is not good? do you understand what's on your record? I'm like, how bad could it be? But and then I'll really dive into it. I was like, Angela, the part I don't understand anymore is they said I cannot be within 600 feet of any cemetery at any burial service. It makes no sense. I don't get it. And they said if somebody finds me with ashes, they were burnt, they actually consider that a contraband now. I don't get it. So yeah, man, Brian is a good crowd, baby.
I've never heard anybody banned from funerals, but now I have.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Can't invite
Jeez, man.
Johnny to grandma's funeral. That's gonna be bad. Oh, brother.
Yeah.
I like that best that plays. That's there, bro.
After I started doing it, I started like finding pieces of content like
Right.
related to all sorts of stuff that I'll
Right.
pull out. Man, a lot of it goes dirty-ish dark.
Yeah.
And then I was going to church and I was sitting in church and I'm like, you know what? They're gonna hear I do comedy and I cannot do this in front of these. I'm like, they're gonna 86. I better come up with some good, clean
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. Well, I
So I
went to the last comedy show. I'll tell you this. Last comedy show I went to, my dad does an intro at the local place sometimes. And
okay.
and so we go over there, we'll sit over on the side and we're listening. And this guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, I got invited to perform at a church. And the only rule they gave me was I couldn't cuss." And I'm like, "Well, I don't have any jokes. Like, I'm out. Like, how do I, so he figured it out. But it's like that's funny. Jokes are funny.
Yeah.
And if anybody
Yeah.
gets offended, then maybe they should have spent some more time at church. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe
That
they
is
should have got it
hilarious.
right. But Johnny,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to work with you, to follow you, what's the Instagram is always going, this is going. If somebody wants to find a listing, they cannot go to Instagram because they're marked listed, sold, next. You don't have that. You don't hold them long enough. I guess your listings don't last long enough.
Then why they sell pretty quick for the most part. Yeah.
So they need to
Pretty
be
quick.
like, is there a way to stay in tune with what's coming, what's available, the
Yeah.
things that are coming in? Right. So
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, the easiest way is Instagram to reach me because that's monitored by multiple people. So, when you do that, and if you're in search of something like that, we do have a website, which is the Richardson Group.Vegas. We'll have there, and it goes through where you could actually log on and start pulling stuff from the market and what we have as well. But if you go ahead and drop something in the Instagram, which is at the Shark JR is for Johnny Richardson naturally. So you do that, and then it's like hook me up with one of your people. Hey Johnny, can you put me on the loop as far as I want a single family home that's 5,000 square feet in McDonald's Highlands, for example. Because here's the thing, the market's tight out there, and especially always in Vegas, it runs skinny. We have a ton of our off market properties we're always working with. These are sellers that have said, you know what, I will sell to the right person. I don't feel like having foot traffic, I don't feel like the
right,
process.
right,
There is a time where we're like, nope, no contract, no business. Now I'm just about let's make a deal. And there's enough going around. We have enough buyers coming into the buyer pool and sellers that are like ready to go. They
right.
just don't want to waste their time with the wrong people. So
Well,
as far as so I have them. Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that's what I wanted to get to because it's like when you get to know people and then you get into that circle, you're gonna find that there's a lot more that they have here. But let's say somebody's looking for that $100,000 condo, they can still come to the Richardson Group to get that. Or if somebody's
Yeah.
selling a multi-million dollar property, they're
Yeah.
just going to deal with who out of the Richardson Group fits that. And if they can get
Yeah.
the
Correct.
spark to come out, bro, that's big time right there. I mean, and that's like you're there to make everything work. And you did allude to one thing earlier, but I just want people to know what is it you've accomplished so many things, right? I mean, you've done this, you've done that. What's one thing that Johnny says, I want to accomplish this? You've done comedy, you've been on stage, you've sold this level, you've done that level, you've traveled here, you've made friends with this. Is there one thing that you're like, hey, I would like to do this?
Yeah. So I want to change when I say change the lives, like majority of realtors out there, when they get into the business, fallout rates normally with less than 2 years. I mean, success rates, I mean, it's less than 10% or even to make it past the first. So, what our vision and our goal is to take realtors as they come in and put them into a six-figure status within 90 days. And I want to do that over the next year to year and a half, would be 2,000 realtors, is what I want. To where I'm
Yeah.
changing the life of those realtors so they can provide a future for their family, for their kids, while they're working hard, putting in those hours, that their spouses appreciate that and they know what they're doing when it comes down to it. They're going out there, they're chasing their passion and everything else, providing that support. We have, as far as, it's not off the fish we're doing as far as the one-on-one coaching, but then the full platform will be launched, I would say, give it 7 days. So we'll launch the full platform, giving people additional support on those items. And there is no secrets. There's nothing behind the curtain. The playbook is open. You want to see everything. This is where it exists. It exists here. You pull all the nuggets out. You have it. You can take it, put it right in your business, and you're going to see results right away, is what it comes down to. So that is a huge passion. That's where I get super excited.
Yeah.
Friend of mine was in Miami, where your buddy's at, and I was doing they joined a company, didn't have luck. I said, look, I'll jump on a call Saturday morning. Let's get on Zoom. I said, let me drop something, a piece of content that's gonna help you get off market, higher end properties. And I dropped it. I was so excited about, because I really do. I enjoy helping agents. And I got off the call and they called me right away. And this was just me working at helping them out.
Mhm.
They're like, we want to hire you. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, you're going to coach us. What do I have to write the check for? What's the number? And it was like, boom. And I was lagging. Bless you. I was lagging again because the hands being full. I'm like, holy crap. Now we got to move forward really quick and get this thing off the ground and ready to go and sign them up. And I mean, they're goo for gagas over it. So they are. That is what I love. I love helping agents. I really do. And really it comes down to, just like us, Brian, as far as forming relationships, serving each other, coming in, delivering value. That is the name of the game at the end of the day. That is really it. People complicate it. Just solve a problem. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts.
Well,
It's one
Johnny,
of those things.
is there anything else that I've missed on this show? Because, brother, I think that's a pretty good point right there.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we hit all the nuggets, if you want laugh, come on down to Vegas Wednesday nights at the Wise Guys. If you're looking for help and assistance in real estate in Vegas, contact me. And then, especially if you're a realtor listening to this and you want to see and duplicate and bring onto your operation or yourself, reach out to me through Instagram at the Shark JR. I'll be happy to help you out and give you the support that you're looking for. That's what it is, man. And until then, hopefully I see somebody at an event watching this right now, moving some houses, shakers and makers, baby. That's what it's about.
Johnny, thank you for joining us today, brother.
You got it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching Podcast on Wheels. And if you guys got any value of today's episode, share this. Share it with a friend. If you're going to be in Vegas, look Johnny up, stop by the Richardson group, say hello. You never know what he's going to have in store. You might get a joke, you might get a house, you might get a networking opportunity, guys. Have a great day, and thank you for watching Podcast on Wheels. Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.